Hello and welcome to the Lynne and Craig show. 60 minutes.
Oh, Lynne and Craig show now.
60 minutes of English instruction for you from two widely experienced teachers, Lynne and Craig. If this is your first time watching, you're very, very welcome. Our aim with this live stream is to help you with all aspects of your English and give you an opportunity to ask us some questions if there are any doubts in your mind. Shortly, we will explain to you what today's topic is, but first we should introduce ourselves. So over there, let me get it right this week. Yes.
No.
Yes, that's right. Over there, isn't it?
No, you're pointing. Well, not on my screen, it isn't.
You're pointing, so it's that way then.
That way.
My friend Lynne, don't be fooled by cheap imitations from putitlikethis.com. Hi, Lynne.
Hello, Craig. I'm laughing so much. For people who know us already, then you probably understand why. Craig has been he's doing a very good impersonation of a television presenter tonight.
but not exactly for the same amount of money.
No, I was going to say, I wish I was on a Lynne and Craig show. Maybe I would earn more money.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, for the people who don't know us, this is the first time. We're not always like this. My name is Lynne. My online teaching business is called putitlikethis.com, and I try to create tailor-made courses so that to try to help students find their own voice in English. And by that, I mean, talk about the things that you really want to talk about, use the English in the situations that you really think and envisage that you will use it in. So I like my courses to be a lot more personalized and a lot more focused on the kind of English that you might use in the future. If you want to see examples or read a little bit more about the types of courses that I can teach, then you can go to my website at putitlikethis.com and you can contact me there too. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know me, my name's Craig, and 24 years ago, with my good friend Lewis, we started the mansioningles.com website to help Spanish learners learn
Congratulations.
Their English. Well, it's not the anniversary, but I thought I'd mention how long.
24 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, a long time ago.
You were such a pioneer, Craig. You really were. He was Craig. I mean, we worked together 24 years ago. We were working together then in the British Council, and Craig and I were colleagues, but Craig you were so ahead of your time, like Craig had the first website even before the big businesses had websites. I think you were really ahead of the curve.
Everything to do with that, the credit goes to my business partner and friend Lewis, who really was ahead of the times back then when we started in 2001. But if you are a Spanish speaker, then have a look at mansioningles.com. We have a very popular newsletter that goes out twice a month. So you can have a look at that. And if you prefer listening to improve your English, the podcast is called inglespodcast.com. It's not only for Spanish learners of English, it's for anyone who wants to improve their English. And that is a weekly podcast. And if you want to improve your speaking, I suggest you go to englishcraig.com. You might consider having a free Zoom chat with me for 10 or 15 minutes, and I will tell you everything about the conversation courses that are starting in December. So englishcraig.com is my personal website. So if you are watching live, I know people are joining us as we speak. Please say hi. Let us know that you're watching. Tell us where you're from. And of course, if you have any questions while we're speaking this week, then just put them in the chat and we will do our best to help you with your English. So today's topic is, do we have to, Lynne? Do we really have to do this?
I was thinking of having a diversion already, actually.
Procrastinating.
Can we change the topic?
Do we have to do this? What's this week's topic, Lynne?
Well, this week's topic is, it's really procrastination. It's really, how is it that we do the things that we don't really want to? I think we all have in our life, you know, things that we have to do, but we really don't want to. Kids definitely go, do we really have to?
Do I
That's
have to, Mum?
yeah, that's a typical expression that parents say. Um, but of course, as adults, we also still procrastinate. We don't want to do things, and we have to motivate ourselves to do things. So we thought we'd talk about that this week. And this all came about actually because last week, 2 weeks ago, when we finished the live stream, Craig and I were thinking, what are we going to do next time? And then we were looking at our diaries, what date it was. And then Craig, you said, oh, I have to go to the dentist. I really don't want to do that. And then that's what inspired me. I said, let's do that.
Yep, exactly. Because we've all got things that we don't want to do, but maybe we have to do. So we'd love to hear what those things are for you, and we'll share some of our procrastination topics. All right. Hi, Hema. Hema's joined us. She's watching.
Yes.
And
Hi, Hema.
Vicente, good to see
And
you again.
Vicente too. Nice to see you too. Hi.
Lovely to see you in the chat.
And Jacqueline as well. Well done. Hi. Thanks for saying hi, Jacqueline. Yeah. Okay. So while Jacqueline, Hema, and Vicente, if you're the only ones in at the moment, maybe you can write in the chat 3 things that you really don't like doing, but you have to do them. But 3 things that your top 3 that are things that you don't like doing. Craig, while they're writing, tell me yours.
My 3 things. Well, I thought of, strangely, going to the dentist, because I don't think anybody likes going to the dentist unless you are a dentist or work at the dentist and you're getting a salary for it. People don't like going to the dentist, do they? And that's something I had to do last week. Luckily, I have a lovely dentist. Shout out to Diana, my friend, who is a lovely, lovely person and a really good dentist. So I never get nervous, but it's just something that I don't think anybody likes doing.
But can you, the thing is with dentist appointments, you can't really procrastinate too long, can you? Because if you're in pain, you have to go.
If you're in pain, you are, but dentists like you to go for checkups every few months. And I hadn't been for a long time because I knew that I needed to have some work done on my teeth. So to have something done is the causative. I think we've spoken about that. When you don't do it, your dentist does it to have something done. So I had to have some work done on my teeth because I wasn't going very regularly. Second one, exercising.
Really? You don't like exercising? I thought you did.
I used to. I just got really lazy, and I just every time I think I have to go and go outside and do some exercise, I really don't want to. I mean, I do, but it's not something I enjoy the way I used to enjoy it when I did sports. So, do you enjoy exercise?
I do, and I don't really put it off now. I don't think, no, I don't procrastinate. I try to. Sometimes I can't do it because I'm quite busy, but what I've actually started to do is put it in my timetable so that I know that I can do it, and I love it. I am enjoying. I think it's because as well, it's become more of a priority for me since I've become an online teacher.
You're a swimmer, aren't you? You swim. Is that what?
Yeah, well, that's what I have done. But this year, since September, I've started going to different classes as well. So I go swimming and I also go to classes. But I have to say, it's because of the online. It's like working at home. It's become more of a priority for me. So in actual fact, that's not something that I don't like doing. I do like doing, getting outside. I love it. Yeah. And what was your third thing then?
Paying my taxes.
You put that, well, there are also things that you can't really postpone, but you don't like doing it.
No, but I don't want to do it. I mean, I don't like,
want to do it.
No, I don't. Does anyone like paying taxes? I mean, it's something we do, but do we want to do it? Do we enjoy doing it? Probably not.
I want to do it. Yeah.
Do you?
I do. Well, yes, because I mean, taxes go to the things that we enjoy, like the National Health Service and, like the health service and the roads and the education. I've got kids, so of course I want to pay some taxes because I want some things from the government.
Yes, yes, but I see a lot of money getting spent badly, especially in my area. So I resent the fact that a lot of the money I and others pay in taxes is not being spent well. And that really annoys me. Plus the
Yeah,
fact,
but that's not the problem of the taxes. That's the problem of the government and the elections, isn't it?
yes, okay, I'll give you that. That's a good
Yeah.
point. I can see I lost that argument, didn't I?
You lost it.
I can see people are joining. So if you are joining, say hi and answer the question we've put for you. Some people are answering. The top 3 things that you really don't like doing. So mine were going to the dentist, exercising, paying taxes. What are your 3, Lynn?
Mm-hmm. So mine are coming up with ideas for the Facebook topics.
For the live stream.
For our live streams. And please don't get me wrong, I really enjoy doing the live streams. I love working with Craig, because again, we work from home. We're quite isolated now. We don't have colleagues that we see every day. So I love working with Craig, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I love it that, for example, Hema always comes and Vicente comes as well. And I recognize names here, Fabiana. So we have some people who come very regularly, and I do enjoy doing it. But I hate having to think, what are we going to talk about next time? And yeah.
How many of these live streams do you think we've done?
I think we've done over 100. I think last time have you counted?
Well, I haven't done all of them with you because I started.
No, you've
with
done
Monica,
more. You've done many more.
This
than
is
me.
number 166. So
Yeah.
at least 100 we've done together. Yeah.
We've done at least 100 together. Yeah. And the problem is, at the beginning, it was easy to come up with topics. And now often Craig and I say, we could talk about this. And then Craig will say, we've already done that. or Craig will go, we can talk about that. And I went, no, we talked about that last.
So if you're watching, what would you like us to talk about next time we do a live stream? Right.
That would help us a lot.
That really would help, especially Lynn, who hates doing it.
I hate coming up with the idea.
What would you like us to talk about?
The thing is, maybe while people are still writing, because you're still writing, aren't you? Because we're not getting many responses here. While you're writing with the 3 things you hate, I'm going to explain how wonderful it is working with Craig. I'm going to be nice to you after having killed your argument about the taxes. Right. So it is a pleasure working with Craig, because the way we work, I think we're getting to be quite a team now. So at the end of the Facebook class, I usually say, before we go offline, Craig says, what should we do next time? And I say, I've got some time at the weekend. I'll have a think about it, Craig. I always do that. And then on Monday, nothing's happened. And the next week, nothing's happened. And then on Sunday, so last Sunday, Craig, as always, sends me a WhatsApp in the evening and says, hey, I thought we could do this. I'm going to start a document. And I always have to have an excuse. And then I write back to him and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Craig. I haven't thought. But yes, that's a great idea, because Craig has come up with the idea. And I say, I'll start the document. So Craig often starts the document, and you write a list of vocabulary, don't you? And then
you go in and organize it, because I'm a terrible organizer.
I go in and I take it and I organize it and I put it in an order and I color code it so he knows what he can put up on the thingy. And I can do that no problem, because that bit is what I like doing. I like organizing, and I put more ideas in there, but I need somebody to give me an initial push. But Craig has never complained yet. Would you like to complain now?
No, of course not.
Do you suffer with me?
Because
like that?
I mean, right back at you, which means I feel the same way. It's a pleasure working with you, and you have come up with some really, really good topics. And so have your daughters, I remember.
Yeah, my daughters come up with topics because I moan at the table and I go, oh God, I haven't got any ideas for and then my daughters think of a topic.
So
So,
you've told us one,
mhm.
you don't like thinking of ideas. What are your other two?
Yeah, my other two is I don't like actually marking students' written work. I love teaching writing, and once I am marking, I mark very in detail. But when I know that I have to have like a list of things to do, and I think, oh, and I've got 3 essays that I have to mark, that is always the thing that goes right to the end, because I just don't I never feel like I want to sit down and mark. So
You're not running the writing through AI first these days?
no,
Oh, I
because the
do.
students, yeah, but a lot of my students do that anyway. So, but no, but I mean, I'm giving the comments. I mean, the language mistakes are not the problem with the marking. The problem for me is it's thinking about the writing as a whole and thinking about how I can teach the students to rework certain things, to improve certain things. And that's more to do with the tone of voice, or how they develop ideas, or how they connect ideas. And it's that kind of feedback that takes me a long time to study. The language mistakes are easy. That's not a problem to correct
Well,
the
AI
language
can help with
mistakes.
that, and I sometimes use it,
Mhm.
and it's not
Mhm.
always accurate. I do need
Mhm.
to check everything it says, but
Mhm.
it's a good starting point. It's a good
Mhm.
starting point for things like register and tone
Mhm.
and other writing
Mhm.
things. But anyway, we're getting off
Mhm.
the point. So that's your
That was my
second
second
one.
one. And my third one was packing. I hate packing for
Oh, I
holidays.
love
When
packing
I
for
go away, I
holidays.
hate packing.
I
And I
love
put
packing.
it off until the very last moment. And then I have to stay up late. And then I'm tired when I'm traveling the next day
You don't
because
have
I
a
was
packing
packing.
list? You don't have a packing list?
No, I always throw it away. I
Oh,
make
put
one and
one
then
in the
I throw it away. I
computer.
know, I know. My husband does things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
really I hate unpacking when I come back. That's what I
Uh-huh.
hate, but I
Oh,
love
I don't
packing.
mind unpacking. I love unpacking, but I hate packing.
So we've got some
Right now, yeah,
feedback
people
from
are
people in the chat.
Hima. She hates cooking. Cooking, and Jacqueline too. You got
And
something in
Jacqueline,
common, because
yeah.
Hema hates cooking too. But Hema's modified it. She says she hates cooking for obligation. So you mean out of? We would say, instead of for, we would say cooking out of
Mhm.
obligation. Cooking out of obligation. Ye-
Having to
That's
think about
interesting,
what to
Hema,
cook every day.
because cooking out of obligation, I have no problem to do it because it's the obligation that motivates me.
Mm.
What I don't like doing is thinking about things when I don't really need to cook. So if I have to feed my family, it's fine. But if I just have to feed myself, I just can't be bothered
But you still have to
to
think
think
what you're
about
going
it.
to cook every day for the
Yeah, no,
family.
yeah. And that I agree with him after that. Yeah, I
Mm.
don't like that at all. Thinking about what you have to cook, it's horrible. Mm.
Gemma also went to the dentist today. I'm sure you didn't want to do that
Uh-huh.
this morning,
Yeah.
Gemma. I'm sure that was I hope it went well.
Yeah. Well, shall we look at some vocabulary
Yes,
for putting things
let's.
off? Uh-huh.
Before. So
Before.
Lynn's used this phrasal verb a couple of times to put something off. Very often in English, if you have a phrasal verb, there's another verb which is a full verb, which means the same thing. So to put something off is to postpone, and it's a separate phrasal verb. So you can put going to the dentist off, or you can put off going to the dentist. You can separate it and put the object in the middle. And dragging your feet is when you're reluctant to do something. To drag, if you drag something across the floor like a heavy suitcase because you don't want to unpack it, then you're pulling it in one direction and it's very heavy. So if you're doing the same thing with your feet, you're dragging your feet idiomatically, then you are putting something off. You don't want to do it, you're postponing it.
And then we have the word to procrastinate, which I think comes from Latin. I think it's very similar in Spanish, maybe Italian as well, to procrastinate. You can dread doing something. Now, dread is an interesting word. It's a verb here. It can also be a noun. You can have or experience dread. And dread is kind of a feeling where you are a little bit frightened. And yeah, you're quite afraid, aren't you, really, with dread?
Yes.
So it's the idea that you're immobile because you're so fearful of something. And so if you dread doing something, again, you're not going to jump and do it straight away because you have something holding you back. You're more frightened.
And notice that dread
It's
is
usually
followed by a
some,
gerund. If you
yeah.
have another verb after dread, it's going to be an ing. So dread doing, dread having to go,
Yeah.
dread meeting, etc.
And I think dread is because it's more related to fear. It's usually doing unpleasant things. So I wouldn't say I dread thinking of Facebook topics because it's not that unpleasant. But I would dread going to the dentist, for example, because maybe it's linked with fear.
Exactly. And to avoid is also a verb that's followed by a gerund. You try to avoid, or you avoid doing something, avoid going to the dentist, avoid cleaning your house. And the expression to avoid something like the plague is to not go near it. So you run in the other direction. A plague is from the Bible. How many plagues were there, Lynn? 10, weren't there? Was there 10 or 12? 12 plagues, I think.
Well, yeah,
10. I can't remember.
I don't know.
12, 10 or 12. Anyway, they were very, very bad. And the last one was terrible because the firstborn of every family was killed. So there was the plague of the locusts. There was the plague of the boils on your skin.
Yeah.
Horrible things.
Horrible things.
So if you avoid something like it was as if it was a plague, then obviously you don't go near it.
And the big plague was the Black Death, the plague in medieval Europe that killed everybody. The plague. And so, really, we could modernize that phrase and say avoid COVID, like the COVID. But no, we like the old-fashioned phrase now, to avoid something like the plague.
Yes.
Okay. So they're verbs to say that you don't want to do something. This is before you do something. And then eventually, when you do it, you procrastinate, but you have to do it. Then we have a few more verbs after you've done it, right? Or to describe how you're going to do it. So you can decide to take the path of least resistance. So when you're describing that you are doing something, like, for example, I don't like packing lists. I'm going to take the path of least resistance and ask my husband to pack for me. That would be to take the path of least resistance. So to try to do it in the most straightforward or easiest way possible.
And to bite the bullet is when you finally accept that you have to do something. So you go ahead and do it, even though it's not a pleasant thing. For example, I knew I had to pay my taxes. I procrastinated. I put it off. And then eventually I said, okay, I need to do this. So I bit the bullet and I paid my taxes. And we've had this idiom before, I think, when it comes from the First World War, where the soldiers didn't have anesthetic and they were injured in the war, and they had to bite on a bullet.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
To stop, to help them with the pain. So
the pain. Is that where the bite the bullet comes from?
That's where it comes from, to bite the bullet and to do something to alleviate the pain.
Then there's another phrasal verb, to get it over with. But you always have to have the little word it, to get it over with. And that means to, you want it to pass quickly. Is that how you would define it? How would you define it?
To finally do it. So you've procrastinated, you've put it off, and eventually you need to just do it.
Just do it, like the Nike.
To get it over with. Which actually, if I can jump to the last one here on this list, to eat the frog, that's a very good example. And that comes from a book, To Eat the Frog, and I can't remember the author who wrote it, but it's a productivity book. And the idea is there's something that is you have to do tomorrow. And you know that if you don't do it immediately, you're going to put it off, and eventually you're not going to do it. So to eat the frog is the most unpleasant but important thing you need to do tomorrow. You do it first. You do it immediately, which means you get it over with. You do it and it's finished. And the rest of the day, you can relax, you can be happy. It's not going to be on your mind, because you've eaten the frog. You've done the worst thing and the most important thing of the day.
And then I'm going to go also from the back there. To tick something off a list, you can tick it off. This is very much my modus operandi, I would say. This is the way I work, because I love writing lists. And it gives me a sense of satisfaction when I can say,
do you tick or do you cross? Do you cross out or do you tick?
I just cross out, make a big mess. Do it just, I don't really tick. It's not neat. I just love scribbling over it and saying, that's gone. I've done it.
Sometimes, you know what I do, Lynn? Sometimes if I have a list and there's something I do that's not on the list, after I've done it, I write it on the list and then cross it out immediately. It makes me feel good.
Oh, God.
It makes me feel good. It's something else. Write it down, cross it out. That's done. It's silly, I know.
I don't do that. No. But I do cross it out. And I do have lots and lots of lists all over the place. So I like it. It gives you a sense of satisfaction. It motivates you to do those unpleasant things as well. And then the last verb there, we've got a new verb, to knuckle down. These are your knuckles, these bones in the middle of your fingers, your knuckles. And to knuckle down, it's kind of like a metaphor, isn't it? It's like you've put them on and you're really putting because you're going to do something. And it just means, another one is to roll your sleeves up and get on with it. No, to roll your sleeves up. I'm going to roll my sleeves up and do it.
Knuckle down.
And I'm going to knuckle down and do it. These are just verbs to emphasize that, yes, you're going to do it now.
It's good to see Marcia here. Hi, Marcia. Good to see you. How are you? She says, I do the same with Lydia. You see, I'm not the only one.
But what? Does she do the same like me, crossing it out? Or do you write things that you've already done on the lists?
That were not on the list that you've done, and then you write them and immediately cross them out.
Marcia, please tell me if you really do what Craig does. I want to know.
My least resistance about the last moment to prepare my declaration to pay the income tax. Again, Marcia is agreeing with me. Income tax. You see?
Yeah.
You see?
And Marcia says she agrees with you. So she's writing things on the list that she's already done. Wow.
Yeah. Makes me feel good.
Okay.
So yes, eat the frog. What did I want to say? Yeah, be careful with the phrasal verb to get it over with. Don't confuse it with to get over something, which means to recover from. So it's not the same meaning. I know it's confusing. If you get over a cold or you get over the flu, you've recovered from it. But if you get something over with or get it over with, you've done it, you've finished it, you've knuckled down, you've eaten the frog, and you can tick it off the list.
Wow, you just used all of them in one sentence. Well done. And then finally, we've got a few more expressions that are related to this topic of procrastination. Sometimes people have a mental block, and this means there is another expression, a writer's block. People who write novels often have a writer's block, and it means that they can't think of anything to write and they sit and look out of the window all day. But that's a writer's block. But of course, just when you're referring to anything that you don't want to do, you can say you have a mental block which prevents you from doing it. I have to say, I definitely have a mental block sometimes with the Facebook topics, because you say, when you say, what shall we do? Then I'm like, yeah. But then on other times when I'm maybe driving in my car, then I get like, when I'm more relaxed, then I get lots of ideas for them, you know. But when somebody puts me on the spot and says, what can we do? Then I get a mental block.
Let me put that in the chat to put you on the spot. And also your mind goes blank, you could say. When you have a mental block, your mind goes blank.
Yeah.
And to put someone on the spot.
Yeah.
Another phrasal verb.
Yeah. And then, of course, sometimes you have a looming deadline. Now, a deadline is the last possible moment that you can do something. And then we have this adjective, which is called looming. Now, to loom over somebody means to incline and shadow something. So if somebody is really tall and like looks over your shoulder, that is looming. Now, a looming deadline gives us this image of this final date, and it is keep coming closer and closer, and it's over our heads and it's shadowing us, and we can't get out of the shadow of this looming deadline. That's a very common expression, but it's got this, for me anyway, it's full of imagery. A looming deadline, it's one that's on the horizon, it's coming closer and it's right over you. And then there's also something, decision fatigue.
And then we've got decision fatigue. Fatigue is a kind of an apathetic tiredness. You just feel that you have no energy. And this decision fatigue it's been scientifically proven that the more decisions you have to make in a day, the more difficult it becomes progressively to make those decisions as the day progresses. And for this reason, you see very high-flying, successful businessmen and tech people like Steve Jobs comes to mind, for example. They always wear the same clothes. Steve Jobs famously wore jeans and a black sweater because he didn't have to think what to wear when he woke up in the morning, and that was one less decision he had to make. Because every time you make a small decision, it chips away, it gradually takes away your brain's ability,
the energy that you have to make the decisions. Yeah, I heard that Barack Obama did the same thing as well. But this actually brings us on to our big question, which is,
before that, can I just say what Emma's written here? She's written, she agrees with you, but personally speaking about what I just said, at times things are not black or white. Because sometimes it's not that you don't want to do it, but you don't know how to do it. That's a very good point, Emma. You can't find a way to achieve it. Maybe because you need certain tools to be sure of what you need or would like to do. That's very, very true, actually. Sometimes you want to do something, but you don't know how. You don't know the way forward.
Yeah.
It could be decision fatigue. It could be too many choices, for example.
Yeah. And it can be that you haven't got the information that you need. And Hema, I think that was just a typo, but it is personally speaking, not personality speaking. Personally, no T. Okay. Right. So what I was going to say was this decision fatigue thing, and the fact that Jobs and Obama decide just to wear the same things so that they don't have to choose every morning. That's a kind of technique, isn't it, to try to help you stop procrastinating or to help you get over that. So the question I wanted to ask everybody now is, what is it that you do? Have you got any little tricks or tips, the things that you use to try to help you get beyond, to get it over with, to help you do the things that you don't really like to do? So what do you do to motivate yourselves? Give us your top tips. Write some in the chat. I think what you said there about Jobs, and that was one of the things that I wrote down too, that it is true that like little things, and you just gave me the same advice, didn't you? When I don't like to do packing, I should keep my packing list. Because if I keep my packing list, I don't have to create my packing list next time. Of course, I'm just very foolish that I don't do that.
I've actually got
I'm
two.
always
I've got one
writing
for
the packing list.
extended holidays, and that will be more than a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a separate, well, on the same list, I've got the things I take on the plane with me and the things I put in the suitcase that gets checked in. And then all I do is print it off and I tick it and cross off as I go. And
that would
throw it in the
probably,
suitcase.
yeah, and that would probably give me a lot of satisfaction if I could cross off or
There you
tick
go.
off and things.
Play
So,
to your strengths.
yes, I should do that. Exactly. I need to play to my strengths.
Yep.
Okay, so that's one little tip. Have any of you got any other things that you do? Please share with us and we can discuss.
Yeah, if you're watching, tell us your tips. While we're waiting for you to write, what are your tips, Lynn?
Well, I have got one, but I don't know whether this is very good for my figure. But because I find marking so well, it's sometimes it's just boring. It is boring, really, marking, because I like reading, but you know, when you have to read and then analyze and assess somebody's marking, it is a bit boring. So if I have a lot of marking, what I do is, if I have maybe 10 markings, you're gonna laugh now, I get 10 little gummy bears, you know, the little you know, the Haribo little sweets. And I get 10 of them and I put them on a plate. And I put, this is all, it helps with the procrastination, because again, I don't have to sit at the computer and start marking. I get a chance to go to the kitchen and count 10 gummy bears and to put them on a little plate, and then to walk back. That's another 5 minutes gone. And then I sit down and then I look at the gummy bears and I think, okay, one essay, one bear. One essay, one bear. One essay, one bear.
Yeah. So that's one way that you can bear it.
That's what, exactly. But it's not good for my figure. It is true. I have to go on diets after that if I have a lot of marking.
But no, that's a good idea, because that is giving yourself a small reward.
Yes.
Which could be, okay, I'm going to work for half an hour and then I'm going to watch a YouTube video just for 5 minutes, or I'm going to work for an hour and then I'm going to go for a short walk and get some fresh air. So if you have got something to reward yourself, a small thing, after you've done something and eaten the frog, let's say, then that's a good way for self-motivation. Yeah, absolutely.
Marthia has got a tip. She says, okay, can you get that one? She says, I'm motivated, Marthia, motivated when I think of the pleasure of crossing my list. But I try to think just about my very moment, the day I have today. Oh, that's very much living in the moment. That's good. I wish I could do that. That's true.
By mindfulness, yes.
That's very mindful. Yeah.
And Gemma says, maybe think about how good it might be, or not.
Oh, that would just make me procrastinate more, Hema. that would not be a way to motivate me. That would just be a great excuse to sit down on the couch and say, yeah, well, I might enjoy the marking, but probably I won't. But I could, but maybe I won't. Should I do it? Should I not? Yeah, sorry, I don't think your tip would help me, Hema, but maybe it helps in other situations.
Do you have any more?
Another one that I have is time. You mentioned time, but I see it as something separate. I think sometimes setting a time limit for things can motivate me. So if I say, instead of like letting the horrible things that I don't really want to do, like for example, the packing, I sometimes look at the clock and I say, right, by 8 o'clock, I have to have my suitcase up here. And then at 7:45, I will be down there throwing everything in, and then the suitcase is up there. So sometimes like looking at a clock, you know, or timing myself and saying, I'm going to have 2 of these things marked in the next half an hour, you know, that might help me as well. So sometimes setting time limits, looking at the time helps.
And there's the Pomodoro technique, which is very similar. Put that in the chat as well.
What's that?
That's a 25-minute burst of work with a 5-minute break after. So you can buy those timers, or you can set your phone, and then you do focused work for 25 minutes, and then you just sit back and stretch and relax for 5 minutes, go to the toilet, make a cup of tea, come back and turn it over, or set the clock again, another 25 minutes. So having that short 25-minute burst of energy, a burst of work, and you know that when it's over, you're going to have a 5-minute break. That sometimes motivates people.
Yeah.
I have a couple of things. Do you have any more?
No, I don't. Go ahead, you.
Well, obviously, cross and tick it off a list. That's something that I wrote down as well. I diary things. I've got a paper diary here, which is really, really untidy. Please don't laugh. It's terrible.
No, I've got the same, Craig. I'm exactly the same. I don't go anywhere without my diary. I do everything in my diary, and mine's a mess.
Look. Cross it off. Yeah. So I use different colors as well. If it's really important, it's in red. Otherwise, it's in pen, and if it doesn't really matter, it's in pencil, because then you can rub it out. Create a habit. If you have habits, obviously, in your day, then that motivates me to have a regular habit. You don't think about it; you just do it.
You just do it. Yes, that's true.
Accountability. So telling someone that you have to do something, like mentioning, like Lynn could say to her husband, "Oh, I've got 10 pieces of work to mark for my students." So telling, and then your husband might say, "Have you done that marking yet?" So if you tell somebody else, then the obligation becomes external. So you've got accountability. You're accountable.
Well, I do that with you when I say, "Don't worry, I will send you something on Monday."
Doesn't work, does it, Lynn?
It doesn't always work, no. But it is my little feeble attempt to try to make me think of a Facebook topic by Monday. And I think it used to work in the past, but we've got so used to each other. I just continually let you down now and wait for my email on the Sunday before.
Well, it works for us, but there's something that kind of works for me, because I'm not very good at keeping promises to myself, but I'm quite good at keeping promises to others. So obviously that's accountability, but also I've put on the list guilt and flagellation.
Do you say flagellation?
No, flagellation. I mispronounced it. Flagellation. Which is when you not physically whip yourself, but you feel really bad if you let people down. That phrasal verb, to let people down, is disappointing them. So I am quite good at meeting obligations to other people. So again, I suppose that's accountability. If if somebody's depending on you, if they know you have to do something, then that helps to get it done.
Yeah, I think it kind of pushes it more up in the priority list, doesn't it? It makes it more important.
And my last one is use an app on your phone. I have some productivity apps on my phone that help me quite a bit. And
what's a productivity app?
Well, it's a bit like using paper and pen, but it's just sometimes easier. For example, I use one called Tick, which you can make to-do lists, and you can do it if you're out on your phone, and it also goes onto your computer, so it synchronizes over devices. And one that I've recently been trying, I wrote it down here, it's called Reminders. It's very, very simple. What I like about Reminders is that there's a little sound that rings on the phone. So if I don't do something at a particular time, it rings and that reminds me to do it. So it's just like somebody saying, "Hey, you said you were going to do this." And it's just something that draws my attention to it. So that's helpful.
Oh, I actually have another one. When you said reminders, that's reminded me of something. Is that if I have to, this is not to do necessarily with procrastination, but for something that I really suddenly remember that I have to do and I might forget, I actually remove my jewelry, my ring, and I put it on a finger where it's really uncomfortable.
That's a good idea.
And then because it's uncomfortable, I keep remembering, right, I have to do this, and I can't take it off until I've done it. Put it back on the comfortable finger. So that's I've done that all my life, that I move pieces of jewelry around to fingers that I hate having rings on this finger. I
so
hate
that
having a
means
ring on a thumb.
that
So
means
if
you
you
have
ever
to do something if you
yeah,
have it on that finger.
if you ever see a ring on the wrong thing on these fingers, on my index fingers, you know that I'm thinking I've got to do something.
That's a
Look,
very good
Marthia
idea.
does the same. Look at
Wow.
that. Well done, Marthia. I'm so glad I'm not the only weird one.
It's not weird. It's a
It's
very,
not
very
weird.
good idea.
Yeah. I guess
I
it's like they used to say in England, didn't they, that you used to put a knot in your handkerchief to remember
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But we don't use handkerchiefs like that anymore, do we?
Now we've all got tissues.
Mhm.
Someone I knew once had a similar thing where this isn't an elastic band. This is just something I bought when I was on holiday. But if you wear an elastic band and you want to stop doing something, like if you're trying to give up smoking, or if you're eating too much chocolate, maybe like me, and you just pull the elastic band when you get the urge or the temptation to do it, and it kind of slaps you and gives
That's
you a little ding. That's
that is self-flagellation.
Well, it's not. I mean, how much does it? It doesn't hurt, but yeah, it just kind of takes your mind away from the negative habit that you want to stop doing.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay. All right. Then shall we ask another couple of questions?
Yes. Do you think procrastination is caused by laziness, fear, perfectionism, or something else?
Oh, now that is an interesting question, I think. What do you guys think? Right. Tell us what do you think procrastination is caused by? I don't think it's laziness.
I think it is with me.
Nah.
The exercise thing, for example, that's laziness. I mean, I should push myself and do more.
Ah.
I mean, I'm not afraid to do exercise. I'm definitely not a perfectionist.
So
I
maybe
think
it's just because it's not a priority, though.
it should be.
I think sometimes it's caused by when we have. Sometimes it can be when we. Well, it's not. I was going to say, is it when we have too many things to do? But actually, it isn't, because when we have a lot of things to do, we tend to do them, don't we? I find that I procrastinate more when I have less to do than when I have more to do.
No, that's not my case.
No?
No, I sometimes get stressed if my to-do list is too long. Then I get a bit stressed and I procrastinate because I don't want to have to start because the list is so long. If it's a really busy day, I'll spend an hour doing nothing, going on social media, watching videos, cleaning the screen, anything to procrastinate and put it off. And
Well, then maybe
it's like, come on, Craig, you got to do this. Get down to work.
But maybe the reason that you're procrastinating then maybe it's caused because you need a rest.
Yes,
maybe
possibly.
your brain needs a rest,
Marcia says it's a mixture of everything. That's true in some cases. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's by fear as well, because, like, for example, the dentist, we said, could be fear, couldn't it?
Yes.
And I think if you find things unpleasant and you want to avoid fear of failing or fear of unpleasantness. Yeah. Perfectionism can definitely be a cause as well of procrastination. And maybe when Hema was saying, you don't have all the tools at your disposal to do things properly, you haven't got all the information, that expresses, when Hema was expressing that also expresses that you have a desire to do it really, really well. So if you are a perfectionist, you might use some of those kind of arguments that you haven't got everything to do it in order to not do it. That's true.
This week I published a video on the YouTube channel. I've been using this new software for video editing. And because I came from a traditional video editor, it was terrible. I just couldn't do what I wanted to do with this new software. And I'd almost finished it, but there was one thing that I couldn't do. So I started procrastinating instead of looking for the answer, as Gemma said before, and using the proper tool. And after about 2 or 3 days, I realized I've got to finish this. So I just used another software, solved the problem, and it was done in 10 minutes. But I procrastinated for 3 days on that because I
Wow.
just couldn't find a way to do it.
To do it.
And
Yeah.
that's why I
So it
just
was
left it.
Yeah. Hema has also said that can you put up Hema's comment? She said she started to go to the gym with her son last September, and now she needs to go every day because it makes you feel good. Yeah. I think sometimes if you put a habit in there, and then you're not procrastinating anymore if you have that habit, so I think that's maybe more related to what you were saying, that you think you're lazy, but I don't really think it's because you're lazy as such. Maybe you just need the right environment and the right moment to do it. Maybe we procrastinate sometimes because it's just not the right moment. We just don't feel like it.
Yeah. But Gemma's touched on something quite important there, and I think we might have spoken about this before, but it's much more important to put systems in place sometimes than setting goals, because Gemma could have said, I'm going to go to the gym and in 6 months I'm going to run a half marathon, for example. Or she could have said, I'm going to go to the gym, I want to lose 3 kilos in 3 months. But what she's actually done, instead of setting that goal and maybe not continuing after, she's created this system, this habit of going to the gym, which makes her feel good, which is really saying, I'm not trying to run a marathon. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm the kind of person who goes to the gym every day. So she has transformed herself into someone with that system, with that habit.
With a system. Yeah, that's a thing.
Very powerful.
Yeah. And I think that system and routine is also a little bit linked to whether you choose your clothes like Steve Jobs or not. Sometimes I think if we have too many things, we really need to look at the kind of things that we have to do, and whether the way that we do them is the most efficient or whether it's most important. Like, is it important that we continually invent the menus, for example, because Hema hates thinking about what to cook for the family, and me too. And every week I sit down and I think about what are we going to eat on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, it's very inefficient. It's like my packing system. All I need is to write a list, and I have done this occasionally in the past, but I've never actually got it into a system, because one day I sat down and just wrote a list of all the things that I can make, and then I thought, at the beginning of the week, I'll just decide we'll have that, and that. My husband says, why don't you just keep the menus every week and rotate them?
Exactly. I mean, that makes sense to me. I mean, just think of 7 things that people like, and
you
just keep repeating it.
Just keep repeating it, or keep, and I don't know why I don't do that. I don't know why I don't do that, but it would certainly.
Thursday's chicken day, Friday's fish,
exactly.
Sunday's something else.
Yeah. I think maybe because we like to have the impression that we're more creative, but really it's nothing to be creative about, because I'm not Jamie Oliver. I'm just a normal person who cooks and wants to eat something quickly before I continue doing my next things. And it's the same. I mean, like, packing your clothes, packing for a holiday, it's not rocket science, is it?
No.
And nor is deciding what clothes you should wear every day. I think I remember reading on an article somewhere, you can create, because women have a lot of problems with that, because we have so many things that we combine in different ways. But they say, forget about that. Just hang on the hanger one outfit, and hang on another hanger another outfit. And then you don't have to decide every day, which blouse shall I have, which skirt shall I have. You just have the outfit.
Unless, of course, you're the kind of person who enjoys mixing and matching clothes. If it gives you pleasure, then maybe it's worthwhile. Let's go to another question. Is procrastination useful? Putting things off. Is it a good thing? Could it be good? What for? There's another question for you to answer in the chat. Gemma says, exactly, Craig, because I have an old injury in my right knee, and I need to strengthen the leg and hip. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Right.
It can be useful. I can think of a situation in which procrastination could be useful if it's quite an important decision. And I don't mean shall I have tea or shall I have coffee? I mean you're thinking of buying something important. Instead of doing it immediately, if you give yourself time to do the research, to think about it, make a decision, maybe balance the pros and cons of something, then sometimes it helps to wait a while. Like we say in English, to sleep on it. The translation in Spanish is to consult with your pillow. So you think about something, and sometimes other things come into your mind, and you might change your opinion. So I think in some cases, especially if it's an important decision, it could be good to put things off and think about it deeply. Do you agree?
Here's another way it's useful. Of course, if I procrastinate a lot, then Craig actually comes up with the idea. So I don't have to do anything.
Yep, good
So
point.
in that sense, procrastination sometimes can be useful, because maybe the task disappears and somebody else does it for you.
Yeah, if there's a light bulb to be changed and I just procrastinate, eventually my wife will do it.
Exactly. So that's the thing. But I do think procrastination sometimes has on a more serious note, procrastination everybody does it. And I think it's probably the brain's way of giving itself a little bit of time out,
Yeah,
time out, like to
time
give
out.
itself a rest. Because when you think about it, lots of the things that we've mentioned that we procrastinate about, they are not big decisions. These things are really regular little things that we do every day. So that maybe it's just because it's a way for our brain to pick certain things to give itself a rest when you're not asleep. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's choose
Okay.
one more, I think, and then we'll wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Choose one, Lynn. We've got 3
I
questions
can't.
here,
I think I'm going to procrastinate on that
Procrastinate.
one. No, I'll choose one. If you could eliminate one habit that leads to procrastination in your life, what would it be?
Oh,
What would you eliminate?
I need to think about that for a couple of seconds. That's a tricky one. If I could eliminate one habit that makes me or lends itself to procrastination, what would it be?
I know mine, and it's
Tell us.
here. It's this one. Because I have discovered that this is the biggest distractor when I want to procrastinate. I go to my phone and I consult I don't have social media, but I consult my emails. I check, has anybody sent me an email? Has anybody sent me a WhatsApp message? What is the headlines at the moment on the news? So I do find that if I don't want to procrastinate, I have to put this away, because this is the easiest way to procrastinate. For me, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it might be. Going back to the exercise thing, I think I put work before exercise, which is a bad thing to do, especially when you're not young anymore and health becomes so important. I think I need to switch that around, to flip that, to put exercise before work. So one habit would be I tend to put the excuse that I need to finish the work I'm doing before I do some exercise, whereas I should be doing it the other way around. I need to do the exercise and then sit down and do some work. So that will be the one habit that we're nearly at the end of the year. So maybe in January, that's something
Well,
I could
it
work on.
works because I started in September, and like I timetable my classes. Now I timetable my exercise, and I do not give classes on those on 2 dates in the week where I do my exercise.
Well, I
And
do
the
the same
rest of
thing.
it, I put it in it when I can, but I've got 2 timetable blocks, which is for exercise. Yeah.
I block off time as well. I mean, every
Oh, you
day
do block
I
off time.
block off 12 till 2 is when I do my exercise. But
Okay, but you don't do it now.
because I said before, I'm not very good at accountability towards myself. So it's very easy for me to say, oh, I'll go later, and I never do. So
yeah,
that's the problem. Marcia,
all right.
take time to make important decisions. Sometimes procrastination can be useful. Yeah. So you're agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between 2 days, we have the night
to rest the brain. She's right. But yes. I think also during the day, I think our brain sometimes needs a rest. I think maybe it depends on what kind of job you're doing,
Yeah. Okay, well, we hope that's been useful. We did look at some interesting vocabulary earlier on: to put something off, to drag your feet, to procrastinate, to dread doing something, to avoid something like the plague, to take the path of least resistance, to bite the bullet, to get it over with, to knuckle down, pull your sleeves up, as Lynn said, and to tick or cross something off a list, and to eat the frog first thing in the morning. A very good book if you're looking for something to read. Eat the Frog. Definitely. So with that, what are we doing next time, Lynn? What's the subject?
Well, I'm actually
Will
hoping
you let me know?
I'll have a think about it this weekend, Craig.
Yeah, wink, wink,
and
wink.
I'll get back to you. But maybe seriously, guys, the people who are in the chat file, you would be doing me such a favor if you could give me some clues.
So while we're saying
give
goodbye,
me some tips.
While we're saying goodbye, please tell us: would you like us to focus on a grammar point, a vocabulary area, maybe some pronunciation? What would you like us to talk about with you next time?
To talk about whatever you fancy. But we're definitely open to any suggestions, aren't we?
Yes. We might not necessarily accept them, but we are open to them.
Oh, we're definitely open to them.
So if this is your first time watching and you don't know, I'm from mansioningles.com, the website that helps you, especially if you're a Spanish speaker, to improve your English. The podcast I do with my good friend Reza over at inglespodcast.com, and you can find that wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you want to improve your speaking in December, the speaking course is continuing, but it's only 3 weeks because of Christmas. So, of course, there'll be a 4-week course in January, but the December courses are starting very soon. So get in touch over at englishcraig.com and I will help you improve your fluency.
Okay, and my name is Lynn, as you know, and my online business is putitlikethis.com. I do tailor-made classes for my students, so I try to help them find their voice in English. So if you have a specific objective, if you want to pass an exam, or maybe you want to make presentations in your work, or maybe you want English for holidays, or maybe you want to talk to English family members that you now have and that you're not very good at communicating with. People have all sorts of different needs, and they come to me, tell me the objective. I listen to your English, and then I try to find, I know what kind of language you will need, and I try to find a way for you to assimilate that language as quickly as possible. Okay, so if you're interested, you can go to my website and drop me a line over the contact page.
Putitlikethis.com. Thank you for staying with us if you're still with us till the end. We really appreciate it.
Maybe you're procrastinating because you don't want to go and cook dinner or something.
Yeah, I bet Gemma's procrastinating about cooking dinner. Thanks. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, everyone who's watching. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with a different topic.
We will indeed.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. See you soon.